Er war Starfotograf und lebte im Glamour mit Models und produzierte Titelblätter für weltbekannte Magazine. Und eines Tages traf es ihn hart, klassisches Nocebo. Die Ärzte sagten, Sie haben Krebs, wir können nichts mehr für Sie tun. Gehen Sie nach Haus, regeln Sie Ihre Angelegenheiten. Das war das Ende eines Lebens. Und es begann eine Transformation und ein neues Leben startete. Und er hat jetzt sein Buch rausgebracht am 7. Mai, Inspiration Day, wofür wir uns ja sehr bedanken, bei ihm diesen Tag gewählt zu haben. Und er hat geschrieben im Englischen: Cancer, you created it, you can reverse it. Krebs, du hast es selbst kreiert, also du kannst es auch ändern. Es lohnt sich, damit auseinanderzusetzen, denn es geht über so viel mehr als nur diese eine Krankheit. Er hat UK Health Radio gegründet vor über 14 Jahren, hat Millionen von Hörern und bewegt vieles. Hören Sie rein, dieses Gespräch. Es ist auf Englisch, aber mit deutschen Untertiteln, aber sehr, sehr, sehr wertvoll, life-changing. Und wir sagen, auf jeden Fall, egal wo Sie heute stehen in Ihrem Leben, auf welchem Fitness-Level, auf welchem Happiness-Level, da ist noch Raum für Entwicklung. Und jetzt das Gespräch mit Johann Ilgenfritz. Hello, Johann. I'm so happy to talk again with you. I just had an intro here, a little bit about your story from the fashion photograph and the glamour world, and then the kind of death sentence from doctors, and how it changed then your life. Founder of UK Health Radio, getting now a lot of awards, and like I often say, you're the fittest person I know. It's incredible, these different stages in your life, finding a new purpose and living it. And I use this also to say thank you. Your new book came out on the 7th of May on Inspiration Day. Thank you for that. Honor this day. But now enough about the introduction. Let's come to the topic, your new book. And the book is not just a book of simple information. It's really challenging, modern world would say, mindset, how you see it, what is the system. And I know we will deliver here a lot of value and insights for people who have no problems but can prevent. And for those who are in a similar situation you are, I guess there is a lot of possibilities to make the situation better, or even have, like you, this coming out of the situation and changing the view of world and health. And the one sentence you have: if you cause cancer, you can reverse it. So, is it that simple?
First of all, hello, dear Wolfgang. Wonderful to speak with you again. Thank you for the invitation. And I'm still one of the most privileged people in the world to have received your Inspiration Award this year. You have no idea what it means to me. It's truly much appreciated, and I carry your flag very high. Thank you very much. Yes, the title of the book, Reversing Cancer, You Caused It, You Can Reverse It, is proving to be quite controversial, but in a good way, not in a bad way. It's actually very similar to my life's mantra, which is good health is a choice. And I mean, I know it's not that easy, and I know things happen, but if you look at the statistics from the World Health Organization, where only 5 to 10% of all cancer-related illnesses on the planet today are genetically inherited. So in other words, 90 to 95% of cancer, of illness, not only cancer, but especially cancer, is contributed to lifestyle. And nutrition and toxic overload are the top two culprits. And as I said, this is the basis of what health, international health, global health should be based on. As I said, it's not a one fit all.
Yeah.
Either there's certain areas where you've got to find out what works for you. But yes, that is basically not easy, but that is the way to do it. If you are interested in keeping your health, which believe me is one of the greatest pleasures on this planet. You only really realize it when you've lost it. And of course, when you are ill, especially in my case with cancer, that is the way out. It's not a quick fix. It doesn't happen within months. Well, in some people it does, miraculously, incredibly. In my case, it didn't. It took 2.5 years, but there were also 5 tumors that had to be dealt with, if I could put it that. So yeah, it's that is basically what this book is about. It's
different
about.
It's like you said, if you understand it, you can do a lot of prevention. Then,
yeah.
If you're just in the beginning of what do you say, the sickness, it's different. And if you already at a stage where the doctor says we can't do anything more, okay, then 2.5 years might be then more normal to do it. But the
absolutely
understanding is, what I guess, what the shift is, and what the title says, you can do it by yourself. But society, besides why we did all the wrong stuff, society is teaching us something wrong. But then society also gives us the impression you can't do anything, only the doctor can do it.
Yeah. Yes, that's a mind shift. That is an opinion that I also had a long time ago, I have to admit, before my illness. But that is a mind shift that I went through. I realized this was after the terminal diagnosis already. So as you know, I had 2 diagnoses. The first one was treated with radiotherapy, and then the second diagnosis 4 months after I was cancer clear came, and that was the terminal one. And very soon after that, once I started on this journey, because basically I had been left to my own devices. The doctors had said to me, we can't do anything for you anymore. You have 12 months to live, sort your life out. Meaning, make peace with everybody and get ready to die. But for me, sort your life out meant get active, become active. And the mind shift by me was, I went from realizing that cancer wasn't the cause of my illness. It was a symptom of a sick body.
Mm-hmm.
So cause and effect immediately, which is, as you know, natural law. If you change the cause, you will change the effect. And that put the power in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Hell of a responsibility, especially when you have no idea where to start or where to go. But it still empowered me. It still gave me a feeling of, okay, I'm in this situation, but now I can do something about it.
Yeah, well,
if I become active.
Here comes the point when you say, I can, who are you? Because if I understood it right, you just said, my body has the symptom, but I am not my body. I created for my body, or the result showed up in the body.
Yeah.
Body didn't create the cause.
No, not at all. The mind did.
Yeah.
The habits did. The lifestyle did, which is your mind, basically, which is you, and your body carried the consequences of it,
Yeah.
of course. So yes, definitely. But that was, I think, that one of the biggest mind shifts I had at that point.
And in your book, very early in one of the first pages, you make it totally clear also to recommend that people don't say, I have cancer.
Yeah.
That the body has the cancer, because if you say I have it, you manifest you really that it stays. It's so much harder to get rid of it. Like driving a car, my car can have a problem, but the driver doesn't have the problem.
Absolutely. I also didn't, after the second diagnosis, the terminal diagnosis, I also didn't tell Rachel and my wife about the terminal diagnosis. I did tell her that the cancer had returned, but I didn't tell her that they had told me that I have 12 months. Because that was for me, it was if I had to have voiced it, I would have made it real.
Yes. Yeah.
I would have incorporated it into me.
Yes, because it's just a belief of the doctors. It's just they're explaining their limited capacity or knowledge of what they can do with their tools, and it's not about the truth.
Absolutely. It's a diagnosis.
Yeah.
And even though it's a professional diagnosis,
it's the interpretation of a diagnosis.
Absolutely. For me, a diagnosis is somebody's opinion.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's correct. It's just somebody, and in this case, a professional person, and I acknowledge that, but it's still only an interpretation of an opinion. That's all it is.
But that is a very important point for a listener also. Some people say, oh, I got it, it's just an opinion, so I create another opinion. And that's not about going in an illusion. It is really about also facing the facts, be very serious about the facts, what symptom is in the body. And there is a cause for the symptom, but we know what the doctor says is an opinion, and on level of duality, there must be a solution for it. But only if you face the facts, you can solve it.
Action has genius, absolutely. You can tell yourself a million times in your head, it's only an opinion, it's only an opinion. But if you don't go and find the facts and deal with them and analyze them and learn from them and create something for yourself, it's not going to help much. As I said, action has genius. That is one of another natural law, just how it is.
Yeah. That most of people get wrong. Oh, I just the law of attraction. No, the law of attraction. I need just to no.
Yeah,
attractions. That is the word action. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that is
and you were different and says, okay, what was the process to accept it, to dive in? What did you study to get different information?
I just started searching for other options. And we're talking about almost 14 years ago now. So at that point of time, the internet wasn't what it is today. It really wasn't. It was actually quite rudimentary at that stage, even though we didn't realize it or think it. I started searching for alternative ways. I hate using that word alternative. Different ways. Let's just use different ways to combat cancer. That was what I started, for lack of.
But you used the idea of
information.
Combat fighting.
Yeah. It was an active. I sometimes spend 8 hours a day in the internet searching, especially later on. Because in the beginning, I was still working as a photographer, but you know, as I mentioned before, I was given 12 months. 7 months into that those 12 months, I was really ill. I couldn't work anymore. So
Okay,
I was spending.
I want to, but from the word fighting, would you today still say it's a good idea to fight cancer, or is it even you give more energy in the wrong way to it? Because just accepting the symptoms, okay, I accept the symptoms, now I'm looking for the cause, is, in my understanding so far, not a fighting process.
In the beginning, it's not. But once you get to a stage where you are really ill, it almost becomes fight or flight.
Okay.
It's literally now it got to a point where it was about dying. It was, you know, I was reaching that point where I had to really get going and really start fighting, if you could put it, as I say. At that point, not in the beginning, but at that point, it was almost fight or flight. But
Okay.
that was an animation for me.
I think that is a big, big difference. What a lot of people say, you need to fight cancer because it's just a mental process. And on the mental process, or they say the intention was, I decided for life, and I was looking for the cause. But then on a 3D level, yeah, the world level, okay, there we need to set borders, there we need to change something. But the deeper intention is more correcting something, even if for the virus or the cancer cell, it is a kind of fighting. But energetically, it is, I go for life.
Yes, most definitely. And the mental aspect of this is very big, but it doesn't do it all by itself.
Yeah.
There's such the physical side of this, what you actually have to change and do is the 3D side of things. And that doesn't just happen. As I said, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, it all plays a part. It really does.
Yes.
But definitely, yeah. And faith, that belief that you will find that one thing that you need to survive. And I did in the end. I did find that text from Dr. Otto Warburg.
Yeah.
I did when I read it.
You mentioned first, find something. You find something what was for this, what do you say, the insights. 1931 was already the Nobel Prize, nearly 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And the doctor still said, we have no clue what to do.
At that point, everybody I spoke with, whether it was oncology, whether it was whatever, doctors, nobody had ever heard of Dr. Warburg. And he won a Nobel Prize in 1931 for this discovery.
Yeah.
That cancer cannot survive in an oxygenated, alkaline, cellular environment. So your body, and you'll be surprised how many people still don't know about it.
Yeah, because what we learn, what we see is depending on other paradigms. Yeah, and I guess in your big times at the fashion photograph guy, if someone's talked about you, oh, there is a Nobel Prize, and we can ignore it. I think there must be always a kind of window of opportunity that you can let the new information in. And the system doesn't want it because you don't make really money with just eat different, when I say simple. Or actually.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's definitely the mind shift that each person that is in this position has to go through is quite a lot, is quite big. But you have to realize it, and I explain it in the book as well. It's about creating a lifestyle that supports well-being and vitality.
Yes.
It's not about lengthening life.
Yeah.
and you are ill and full of pain and stuff. It's not about that, you know. So it's about, and it's a lifelong commitment.
It's really a
commitment
for life. Like we say, winning for life, not just
for life.
But
absolutely,
here's shift. I mean, the first shift was really not delegating health or whatever you call to the outer world. If it's doctors, or we do it with everything. Someone else is responsible for my pension or whatever. We delegated everything. Happiness is depending on the partner and all those, to really realize that it's our own journey going through life, and that we need to take the responsibility first back, and then can the search start what is really necessary, and not these kind of normal word we say also survival strategies. But I don't mean it now with the cancer topic, but we are just oh, can you take the pain away? Can you this away, that I can just move on with my old life instead of having the desire. And that is, this is more, there are more shifts. So first I take the responsibility, then I want to get rid of the problem. But now, what you're sharing now, it's even the next step. Hey, how fit can I be? What am I getting? A totally different idea about life.
Most definitely, a different outlook on it. And as I said, it's about health and wellness and vitality and mental vitality, physical vitality, creativity. It incorporates the whole thing. Like inquisitiveness, staying, and the ability to learn. The ability to, first of all, and I always say this, first of all, to listen and to learn.
Yeah.
To listen, to understand, and not listen to answer.
Yes.
I find that so important. And so many people, when I speak with them, I can see in their eyes that they are thinking of an answer.
Yes.
They're not listening to what I'm saying. Yes. They're just thinking of what are they going to say back to me.
Yeah, as long as they're in this kind of survival living, they need to protect somehow. And what is how I fight back? That's the main thing. Not understanding that not the outside is a problem, than their own thinking.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that so many times, and I can already see it. Yes. I can see. I can even anticipate the answer that's coming.
Yes. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's sad, but it's unbelievable. Yeah.
No, we are trained for what I call a win-lose, lose-win, or even lose-lose life. Yeah. In school, you're not allowed to talk with someone, not come with someone else to a good solution. Yeah. And everything. We want to find your mistakes, or even if you have the right answer, no, that's not the right way to get it, and and when you said also the fighting level, when I ask you mentally, we see it now. If the Ukraine war, everything, it's a fight. It's just a win-lose thinking. Everywhere is win-lose thinking, and not this parallel. Okay, in the mindset, we are going for peace. Health in your case, and on the other hand, yes, I need to fight the virus. Yes, I need to fight maybe in the war and say, stop, that's a limit. But my deeper intention is win-win. We want to go for a different way of living as an individual and society. So when you say you see it and hear it, we can say, oh, the society is training, the doctors also say, we have the solution for you, or now we stop. But so far they say, you depending on the outside, what we have. And if we don't have, so go home, nothing is working anymore. So everybody is training you that you are not really in the power of changing your life, your health, and everything.
I totally agree. I think we are conditioned our whole lives not to be part of our life process, actually. We are conditioned about it. In school, you get taught. You don't learn.
Yeah.
You get taught. And that's how it is. And until you realize that you have to take the responsibility, you've said it quite a few times already today. And let's face it, it's your life, it's your world, it's your existence. You should have responsibility for it.
Yeah, you will find out.
And not give it to somebody else.
Might be too late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we see with all these near-death experiences, that, oh gosh, what did I do? And then they start living their life. So some people, also in your case, are different. You need this kind of wake-up call. If you're not ending what you're doing now, then go, or make a shift and understanding it, transformation. And when we talk about purpose,
for me,
purpose of living, huh?
Yeah, and for purpose, I love that word, even though it's being used for the wrong things at the moment quite a lot. But I was once asked a question, and this was after I'd started UK Australia, but I still had cancer yet. And it took 2.5 years for me to get rid of everything. I was asked in an interview whether I was grateful to it, and at that stage it caught me really unaware. I must admit I was quite speechless in the interview. But Wolfgang, it has given my life purpose.
Yeah,
a good old kick in the bum. That's what it was, actually. It was a wake-up call, second to none, literally.
Yes.
And it has given my life purpose. I love being a fashion photographer, but now I know how empty it was.
Yeah.
Because I have this purpose, and I can even help other people find their purpose now.
Yeah.
And that is incredible. That's an incredible feeling. It's a very humble feeling, humbling feeling, actually.
Yeah.
It's but wonderful. It's just that's what gets me up out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's what makes me exercise the way I do, makes me work develop things, etc. Because it's just right. It just feels like me.
Yes, and giving
almost
is always more fulfilling than just taking. Huh?
Yeah.
It's
almost found a connection to my higher self.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. I was part a little bit from the outside of your journey when we met the first time. I know we did 12, 16 hours a day you were working to create online radio, because like I said, at that time, internet was not there. You invested a lot of lifetime in creating it. And luckily you did. But today, when you started now, and I like that you share a little bit more what you're doing and what you experienced there with the masterclass. So in between all your work, you started the masterclass to give back, to help people to get the same insights what you had. I can already feel how fulfilling it and how important it is for your purpose. But I guess you will have what we just mentioned, also a lot of people coming with a different awareness and still maybe come in and says, oh, give me the right solution. They see you maybe as the outside, give me.
Yeah, absolutely. The Alkaline Collective is a mastermind for people with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that comes in, or it hasn't existed that long. It's been going since the beginning of 2024, so a year and a half, 18 months now, plus minus. So everybody that came in the beginning had cancer. There are a few that are now cancer-free that have stayed in the group, which which just shows their development. A lot of people, I connect with a lot of people through the mastermind that expect me to heal them. Not possible. I can't do that. I can give them my experience. And the mastermind is such an, I'm not a coach, Wolfgang. I'm not a health professional. I don't want to be. But the mastermind, I experienced this in a business mastermind. That's why I created this health mastermind. It is such a powerful tool because everybody learns from everybody. And when people come in and expect me to heal them, it is my duty to try and inform them that I can give them the information, I can help them, I can keep them accountable, try and keep them accountable, but they have to do the work. And that is, it happens quite often. But a lot of the people that come into the masterminds have been battling cancer for a long time. And they are ready.
They are now ready because nothing else is working.
Absolutely. They have reached the point that I reached. They are there. And then it actually really, really starts to resonate. And it's an energy within that group. I have quite a few groups now that I lead them. That's all. I lead these groups. And on a weekly basis, I learn from people.
Yeah.
Because their experiences are not all different, but much of it is different to what I experienced. Yeah. Different therapies, different medicines, different mindsets, different spiritual viewpoints. Some are really religious, some are atheists, some are Buddhists, some are Muslims. It's unbelievable and it is so empowering, even for me, to be in those groups, because I learn every group, every session, I learn something, either about people or about the disease or about where I should be, the mind shift I should be trying to attain, etc. So it's really, and it's personal, and it's sometimes, the radio, I don't have a show on UK Health Radio. So there's no personal contact. This is personal. And it's not always easy. I try to explain it like this. I always say, even though I carry it well, it doesn't mean it isn't heavy. But it is so fulfilling because it's personal, and you can see people, you can see mind shifts happening in people's faces. And of course, there are some that would rather die than change. Unfortunately, you can't do anything about it. But there are so many people that will do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
To be healthy, to continue, etc. So and it's for me, it's really fulfilling because it's just that personal thing, and there's the other thing in these groups. There's no pity. When even when I had the disease, at one point I stopped telling people about it, because that expression that you get, "Oh, you poor thing."
Yeah.
And then giving advice that meant absolutely nothing, actually just irritated me more than anything else.
Yeah, the energy they transport to you is low.
Yeah. So in these groups, there's no pity. Nobody pities anybody. It's actually just an energizing effect.
Yeah.
Energizing people, stimulating people, keeping them accountable, getting them to do the work, to do the diets, to change their mindsets, to to involve their families, to help them, to etc. So it's incredible. It's a wonderful experience, actually. I'm really privileged to be able to experience this.
Yeah, I was saying so much more, like you said, different cultures and different ways. But somehow we say, at least in the non-duality, we are all one. So I believe there is something, what is with all of those differences, they have something what they all have in common. There is a core of whatever, I guess, is, let it ask me like this. I heard that they, in former times with cancer patients, did tests bringing those who said, we can't do anything anymore, kind of in the mountains, like hiking with them in the mountains, very high, that they, until they came to a very narrow, so that there's really, dangerous, to bring them to a point that they decide, I want to live. And then it could change. So is there anything like this in all the differences where you see there is something what all, where it changed, have in common?
Yes, there is. There's a red line that goes through it, and that red line is purpose. People without purpose fall by the wayside.
Okay, that people, what Frankl said, who in the concentration camp said, he realized those who survived had a reason to survive. Yeah.
Definitely. I see it. I see it literally on a daily basis almost. Purpose is one of, I don't want to call it a tool, but that's basically what it is. When you realize what your purpose is. And I say to people, you don't have to save 5,000 children, or, it can be planting a tree.
Yeah.
Once a year. If that's your purpose, that's your purpose. It could be looking after your family, your children. It doesn't have to be, as I said,
no, it's
saving the whole forest.
We hear it from people who are old and healthy, but they say, no, it's time kind of to die. But they say, no, I want to see my grandchild again. They do it, and then, I want to see this place again, and then it's okay. So it's just that you have something what counts for you.
Absolutely. In one of the groups that I have, it's this gentleman found pottery. Pottery, working with the clay, working with the wet clay and the earth and the stuff. And he'd never done this in his life before. He's retired, or almost retired, So, and purpose and creativity quite often go hand in hand. Not always, it's not always together, but quite often they go hand in hand.
Because there is there to live your purpose, you give yourself permission to live it. Yeah.
And it's really empowering. And I try and help people find that to the best of my ability. You can't take them by the hand and lead them, but you can animate them. And once they found that purpose, the whole thing flows.
Yes.
It's so much easier and smoother. I don't want to use the word easy. It's so much smoother, and because they're going in the right direction.
But it's the only
they can feel it.
Have a kind of flow feeling.
Yeah.
Yes, and
they can feel it. They feel.
It's not about easiness, because if you love weightlifting, it's always tough. If the next 20 kilo comes, it's always tough, but it's more fulfilling that you go this. Yeah, like
you can see it
to be better in your purpose. Yeah,
and you can see it. They go. They just and they embrace. They accept. And that's what you need to do.
So we made I like it, a wonderful purpose turn, because I love purpose finding, created the process also with entrepreneurs and change the culture in the company. Well, now we're talking changing culture in the individual. But let's come back to your book, and what you experienced, how to reverse it. So we're talking now about mindset and the purpose, but now we go back to the 3D level where you says, okay, we need to change behavior or fight even the cancer cell. How you find it? What is the real essence of the Nobel Prize from 1931?
The essence of that is basically, and that was my starting point.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't the whole picture, but that was my starting point. And the starting point that I inspire people to start at, and that is with nutrition.
Yeah.
So pH value, our bodies have two pH values. One is the blood, which is basically controlled by our detox system, our livers, our kidneys, etc. You can't change that. Your body regulates that.
Mm-hmm.
But there is another pH system, and that is in a cellular level,
Mm-hmm.
in the cells themselves. And this is totally possible to change that pH level, to influence that pH level. So just quickly for people that are hearing this for the first time, pH 7.2 is neutral. That is a neutral. Anything below that is acidic. Everything above that is alkaline. Now, science has shown us that cancer cells feed their food, their nutrition, their nourishment comes from glucose, sugar. Now, in the human body, everything that is acidic changes into sugar. This is very basically spoken, but this is how it works. Changes into sugar. So that what you eat, if you are eating very acidic foods, you are basically feeding the cancer. And we all know now that everybody has cancer cells. Whether you are diagnosed with cancer or not, they are there, they are present. And in the other direction, in the alkaline direction, you basically starving the cancer cells to death, killing them, if that makes any sense. So that is how simple this basic actually is. And this book guides people, individuals, to live an alkaline lifestyle, basically, to cut away all the acidic foods and stuff. Now, this book is basically how I live, what I eat, what I drink, etc., etc. And that is literally how easy it is, because, and even afterwards, even now, people say to me, okay, so, and what now? You probably, have a steak now and again. And I go, no, of course I don't. My body hasn't stopped producing cancer cells. Why would it have? If it done it before, why would it now? Because I'm cancer-free. A diagnosis cancer-free doesn't mean that my body isn't still producing cancer cells. What it means is
similar, like we say with an alcoholic who is sober now. He has a totally different danger if he drinks something.
And I'm not sure about that, to be quite honest. All I know is that you have to create a space, an environment that is not suitable for cancer cells.
Yeah.
And that is an alkaline environment. So even now, I'm cancer-free. And even now, I have kept that alkaline environment so that the cancer can't get a foothold again. That's how easy it is, literally. You know, so. And that is the basis of this book, basically.
Now, I'm still in my journey figuring out, because if I go with the blood types, so blood type O should eat more meat because they have too much acid in the stomach, so it helps. And then there are also some people say we only eat meat, and they make a very healthy impression. Like you said, also nothing fits all. But what is really the right thing there to do? For sure, it's not that simple when I say meat or not meat or whatever, this or that, because it's not about simply being vegetarian. You can still live in very acid with an acid diet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what is there the real difference? And when you say you have an alkaline diet, what does it really mean?
Well, alkaline, you're quite right. You can be a vegan, and if you eat the processed vegan food that's available in the shops, you probably have a very acidic cellular environment.
Yeah.
So what people ask me, what do you eat? And it's actually leaf greens. So it's stuff like spinach, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Now these are all alkaline vegetables. Cabbage, radishes, turnips. I've mentioned spinach, green peas. So I even eat potatoes. Now potatoes on a pH scale is actually quite acidic, but potatoes are very special because they metabolize alkaline. It's incredible. They have such a huge amount of potassium, magnesium, and calcium in them that when they metabolize in your body, they actually alkaline it. It's incredible. There are not many of these things that come. The other one, the tomatoes, and that's in the other direction. A natural tomato, not cooked, it's like a tomato, a raw tomato, if we could put it that way, is very alkaline. You can eat it. As soon as you cook with tomatoes, as soon as they go over 40 degrees, they become totally acidic. But those are actually the only two things that are really, really difficult. And just stuff like, I don't eat a lot of food myself because of the sugar content of fruit, but I'm not telling people not to eat fruit like blueberries, so important. Even strawberries, raspberries, very, very rich in antioxidants and stuff like that. So very important. Avocados, protein. Avocados have so much protein in it. And probably the most important thing is the water we drink. It's personally, okay, there's a lot, and there are many kinds of alkaline water out there, pH 8 and above, wonderful. They all have neutralizing peptins, which is a very good thing. It really is. I myself drink distilled water. And if you look up distilled water, there are even doctors that tell you that you will die if you drink distilled water. Well, I've been drinking distilled water now for about 8 years, and I'm here. You have to be careful. Distilled water has a mineral deficit, so you have to add minerals. But just by adding a pinch of Himalayan salt almost takes care of all that. So very important, the water. So that is basically eating. I don't eat any meat, I don't eat any fish, and I don't eat any poultry. And I don't, sourdough bread you can eat. It's in there as well. It's in the book as well. So wheat is is a slippery slope. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's you know, there's buckwheat. It's got wheat in the name, but it's not. It's a seed. Quinoa, that kind of stuff, you know. And even if you want to eat rice, you can wash the starch out of rice before you cook it. So there are many ways of doing it. It's just the book isn't, you know, a lot of people actually fear it. The book just explains things. What it is, how it is, what you can do. It even has a few recipes in it. It's not a recipe book. That's not what it's about. It's just to animate people's creativity almost, you know, just to show to them that you can create breakfast, you can create a 3-course meal, a 4-course meal if you want to, with really healthy organic products.
Yeah. So you mentioned recipes in the book and explaining the book. Is it right to say it's a kind of 3 basic, not basic, 3 special topics? First of all, just looking at cancer different. Like we thought in the beginning, not I have the cancer, the body has it. What is it really? The understanding of the alkaline topic. Then explaining some food and what is really this. And then even on top, just some examples to show, what do you say, here, it is so much easier than you might think, because, you know, it's everything new and you have no clue what to do. You get simple ideas for the first steps and then figure out what works for you. Is this
yes,
the same?
Absolutely. This is the guideline. This is what works for me personally. We're all different. This is not a one-fit-all. Like health isn't a one-fit-all. You mentioned before carnivores. I have a carnivore in my family.
Yeah.
That he thrives on it, you know. So it's very important. And the book also incorporates, and this is very important. I really want to mention this. I call it the 4 Qs. So IQ, we all know what that is. EQ, SQ, and PQ. You've got to do this on using all 4 your Qs. It is so important, and you've got to develop it almost not necessarily at the same time, but to the same level, plus minus, if at all possible.
Can you please explain what you mean? IQ, we say, yeah, that we know, and then you can EQ, I guess, emotional intelligence, or what? And now the S and P. What do you mean with that?
The SQ is the spiritual intelligence, and the PQ, very important, the physical intelligence. Now, the IQ
intelligence, what I understand about it, or really listen to the body, or both?
Both. It's listening. It's the training aspect of it, the physical aspect of it, the sweating. People don't realize how important sweating is. Yeah. You can go to the gym every day of the week and never break a sweat.
Yeah.
But sweating has become so important. And then listening to your body. Sorry?
It's a detoxing process.
Absolutely. So for me, the 4 Qs, IQ is understanding the science of health. Like I explained, the pH values. Inflammation. Sugar creates inflammation. It's unbelievable. Diabetes, cardiovascular health, obesity, immune health decline, all is directly linked to inflammation now. And all this has been proven scientifically now. That's a wonderful, you know, when I started this, it was a gut feeling. It was more almost common sense. I tried to, you know, now in the last 5 years, all these things have been scientifically proven. So it's understanding that science of health, that even supplementation, You know, people just, they buy supplements and they just throw them in. You don't need to do that. There's specific things you need to supplement, which we can get to later if we have time, but that's not what this is about. You know, it's about understanding just that science, the science of water. That's the one thing. Then we get to EQ, the emotional side of things. So important. Evaluation here is the key word. I evaluated my whole lifestyle, and I worked out. Took me quite a while. I worked out that stress, as a fashion photographer, the time pressure, that part of stress, you know, we can't get away from stress. Stress is everywhere these days. I hate that word as well. I hate the word stress, you know, but you have to find what is your kryptonite. Which part of your life is damaging you, is causing what you have or what you've gotten, etc. And in my case, it was stress. So I had to evaluate, I had to work out how to lengthen it, not to lengthen it, how to ease it, how to, you know, make it less stressful. It's been proven now that stress acidifies your body as well. So in my position, it was time pressure. So what I do, I lengthened my day. I get up earlier. I work at a leisurely pace. I work longer, perhaps, but that was, you know, as I said, evaluation. You've got to evaluate what it is that is causing this for you. Then we get to, this is very basic, but it's explained in the book in a bit deeper. But then we get to SQ, the spiritual intelligence. And here we get back to the word purpose. For me, it's finding that deeper sense of purpose. And once you've found that, you know the saying, if you don't go within, you will go without. I've known that saying for ever.
Yes.
I never understood it.
Yes.
Now I do. You know, that deeper sense of purpose of
you know, the song, that's a big difference about knowledge and knowing.
Yeah.
It's totally, in German we say, der Groschen muss fallen. So it just doesn't matter what you have here. It needs to be the truth in the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is priceless here.
Yeah.
You know? And it doesn't matter how you do that, whether it's through meditation, through breath work, through whatever, it doesn't matter. Whether it's for going for a walk or riding a bicycle or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Or painting, or doesn't matter. But you've got to find that purpose.
Yeah.
That deeper sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Not a social sense of purpose.
Yes.
Big difference between social purpose and deeper purpose.
Yes, and like the word finding, because it's there. You need to find it. It's not to define it. Yeah, because then you're in the trap. Then you're easily dictated by society what you should have as a purpose. Yeah.
It's within. You've just got to go there and find it. Yeah. And then, of course, the PQ, the physical exercise, which is I ran 12 kilometers before our call this morning. I do that quite often. And here it's also physical. Of course, it's mental as well. But the physical, just little things like I mentioned the sweating beforehand, but the lymphatic system is in our body. It's a detox system. And it's the only one that doesn't have a pump.
Yeah.
And only physical exercise gets it working, gets that detox system working and clears it out and stuff like that. So, and there as well, it can be rebounding. It can be jumping up and down on a trampoline. It can be that simple, or it can be, as you know, I love running half marathons and stuff like that. It could be climbing a mountain. It could be whatever as well. But you've got to, the physical aspect of it is so important. I've actually taken it so far that I can literally do a quantum meditation while I'm running. It's taken me about 3 years to achieve, because it's not easy. I've been run over once or twice almost because of it. Yeah. But I can literally do quantum meditation, also not always, and not always to the same intensity. But I've even done that. I don't run with music. I don't run with voices in my ears or anything. I run only with myself. Wonderful.
Yeah, and interesting is you say, let's say where I come from, the left brain lawyer needs to have everything in. When you talk about the four cues, easily is a trap. And now you said this first and that we think that is a line to one after the other. But to really understand they're interdependent, because everybody works on the other three. Everything works on the other three. Yeah. So if you would make a kind of graph, you can have arrows to everything. Your intelligence goes to all other three. Yeah. Your emotion has influence on all the other three. Your purpose has influence on all the other three.
Everything. Absolutely. Yes, they go hand in hand. Yes. It's not four, I call them the four pillars, but that's why I said that you've got to develop them together.
Yeah.
As one almost, because the physical influences the spiritual and the emotional influences the IQ, and so forth, as you've just mentioned. So absolutely, so important that you do all of them they all help each other to create.
And I think it's very intelligent to go to the UK Health Radio website, because now today we're just talking a little bit more this topic, cancer, but you said also mentioned, diabetes here and everything. And like we said also, it's not about just getting rid of one problem, it's really developing everything. And on your radio, you have, what is the span of topics there? There's a lot of things for the four cues you just said. You can find a lot of presentations, shows there, which helps you to develop all four.
Absolutely. Yes, there's everything there from mental, physical, spiritual, emotional programs, and 41 shows all in all, done by 48 presenters. And of course, there's cancer, there's cardiovascular, there's diabetes, but we also have we have a new show coming that's about dreams. And we have a new show coming that's about walking. It's an amazing. It's going to be called "There's a Walk for This." It's like so if you have this, if you're battling with can't sleep, there's a walk for it. If you're battling with depression, there's a walk for it. It's going to be really exciting show. And so UK Health Radio has the widest range of health topics available today, literally. It has a very strong purpose, and that is to animate people in a positive manner. Very importantly, in a positive manner, to take responsibility for their own health. It doesn't mean take it into your own hands either, but just be part of the process of attaining and or keeping your health freedom. Because so many of us, me included, didn't value health before I got ill.
Yeah, we took it for granted. Yeah,
I took it so for granted that it's not even funny. And that is UK Health Radio's purpose. Positive. You can talk about so many things.
Yeah.
But if you talk about it in a positive manner, in a positive way, that is what empowers people and not deflates people. A lot of medical talk is deflation.
Yeah,
it breaks people's spirits. It it takes away their energy, their power, their everything. Yeah. And UK Health Radio is the exact opposite. It animates people, it helps people, it builds people, etc.
Yeah. We all have no clue what we are capable of. Yeah. Yeah. And we need to dare to grow really fully.
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better, Wolfgang, really. Absolutely spot on.
Yeah. 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 It feels like it's a good ending for this. And Johann, I'm so grateful for the work you're doing, going through kind of hard times and then really collect the wisdom and the value out of this and creating something that millions of people now, it's a 1.6, 1.7 millions who listened every month now to UK Health Radio, and I wish that a lot, and I like to mention this, or it comes up that you said also your book, what you get together, is because the science you said is now there, but somehow it's not true because 1931 the science said it already, but now it becomes more mainstream. Yeah, that's why we have now more scientific proof. But that your book now goes around the globe as part of education in some areas for people who are studying health or medicine. And this is so incredible and giving us a lot of hope for the future, that people, if they go to the doctor, and that's a crazy thing, if you have a dog and he has problems, you go to the vet, and the first thing he asks, what did you give him for food? And for humans, we don't do this. And so it's really time to wake up. We all belong to nature. And that nature can heal, what normally also every human doctor should know.
Yeah.
And go first with that. And you're a strong advocate, teaching the world with a lot of things. UK Health Radio, with your book about it. There is a different way to health and fitness, as we were trained to do from the system. Johann, thank you so much for this kind of work, and let more people send. So where UK Health Radio,
yes,
we will put the link here, but then you have also the mastermind group or the alkaline. So what is the best to go for information?
For the book, you can, if you go to ukhealthradio.com, on the homepage, there's a image of the book right smack in the middle. If you click on that, it'll take you to where you can purchase a limited edition. You can also visit, if anybody is interested in the Alkaline Collective Mastermind, it's alkaline-collective.com is the website. There's a lot on there, the books on there as well, because I do find they go hand in hand. You can also order the book on Amazon, but those are the touching points. And you can email me directly if you want at Johann, is JOHANN at ukhealthradio.com, and I'd love to hear from anybody that needs information, that is interested in any of the topics we spoke about. If I could, that's what I'm here for, to help.
I love this purpose, and I love you, and I love how you make it happen on the 3D level. Thank you so much, Johann.
Thank you, Wolfgang. Much appreciated.